Thunderbird.
Quit playing with the props.
All the props are for sale.
All right,
$35 your choice, except for that one on the end. I ain't sure what that's worth.
This one here?
Yeah,
I don't even know what it is.
Looks like some kind of cheese grater or something.
Looks like a big bullet or something.
It's some kind of Latin percussion.
We are all dancing around exactly what it looks like and not saying it because we're all polite gentlemen here.
Well, if it wasn't for that,
Looks like a Steely Dan.
if it wasn't for that obtrusive looking handle on there and that comb that's stuck to it, but it's like a kind of, I guess it's like a Mexican washboard.
Sure.
Okay,
We'll get one of
That's good.
Mark, let's get one of these women in here so they can
Mexican
actually tell us what that is.
More than 6 inches.
Oh my God.
You wear a washboard here, where would you wear that with?
That's a good
I'm just thinking, no. It's like if that fits, mine.
Yeah,
Not touching,
right? I might as well just give up.
And shit, I couldn't even slap one side.
Oh my God, guys. This is not.
This is not going well.
This is going perfectly. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just getting warmed up.
That's gonna be some entertaining content. Yeah.
This is going to be. Welcome to the Roadkill Podcast. Do that at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the Roadkill Podcast in stereo. I don't. Wait.
Here we are.
He won't give me the fucking button, so I gotta do that.
Well, now you got the symbol on the table.
Didn't you have a button at one point? You did have a button.
I had a button and it went.
Scary.
It did it. It did
Yeah.
And you won't let me
Because
push
I
the
have
button.
kids, and just like my kids, which are his grandchildren, if I give him a button, he's just gonna push it all the time and push it all the time.
So you had to take the button
Only
away.
at funny moments.
Well, you find. Yeah.
I'm an older year kid.
That's going in some territory I don't know if I want to go to.
Exactly. We're here to talk about all kinds of. But anyways, welcome to the Roadkill Podcast. My name is Laurel. We got Roadkill down on the other end. We have Mr. Halsey and Mr. Blake. Welcome, guys. So we've just been kind of talking music and lots of Blake Shelton.
No. That's the richer, better looking Blake. No. He has way
You're
more
the
money.
free one.
Yeah, I'm free. Yeah.
That's why I don't have the money. That's why he's not richer.
Yep.
He's free.
Yeah, I'm free.
No, but I've heard some of your music though, and it's damn good.
Thank you.
What got you into
That's
playing
awesome.
in the first place?
My family's been musical. Like I grew up. My grandma was a karaoke DJ growing up, so she had me in music from a very young age, sang in church, that kind of thing. And one day I saw a video when YouTube first come out of Guns N' Roses playing at the Ritz, and I was like, I want to play guitar. That guy looks cool, so I'm gonna do
really?
that. Yeah, that's what I did.
Guns and posers.
Guns and posers, yeah.
Look, I'll be the first. I love 80s music. All right, Guns N' Roses is a little for me. Like they have some cool songs, but for me it's Axl Rose. Like he just kind of annoys me after half a song.
I can get it because now I don't listen to them as much as I did as a
But after
13-year-old
I watch
kid.
them play fat, I'm not as mad.
Dude, I'm so heartbroken. I had the chance to go see AC/DC when they were doing one of their third retirement tour, and I was living in Atlanta. They came and did a big, I think I don't remember what show it was, what tour it was, but they were in Atlanta, and I had an opportunity to get 2 tickets, and I was this close to getting them, but I couldn't get off work.
Was he singing there with him?
No, this was before. This is before Brian Johnson retired.
Okay.
This is before the brother passed away.
Yeah,
This is before it was still AC/DC.
So you're an AC/DC fan.
I love AC/DC, and I'll be controversial. I prefer Brian Johnson to
Get out of town.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the reaction I typically get. I like Brian Johnson. I thought his spice, I am not. I'm not hating on anybody else. I'm not trying to say that they were better after. I just really like Brian Johnson.
I respect your opinion. I respect anybody's opinion that says they like Sammy Hagar over David Lee Roth, but I don't necessarily agree with it because
that's fair.
Because I mean, that's just the way I think. I felt that Bon Scott AC/DC was a little bit more punk and a little bit more raw and kind of nasty. And then when Brian Johnson came in, they were a little bit more stadium rock and catchy, and which, you know, like I say, it's fine either way.
It's fine either way, whatever opinion it's to. And to that point, I absolutely give Bon Scott this credit. There's an authenticness
for sure
to when he was that AC/DC had with him
absolutely.
That Brian Johnson didn't bring to the table. Yeah. Like, because you're right, it became more commercial with Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
But with Bon Scott, it was definitely far more authentic, out of the grind, like punk for sure.
Yeah,
I can agree with that absolutely. But yeah, no, great. So
I think I had one AC/DC album.
Which one?
There's like 30 of them.
Back in Black,
Back in Black.
Deeds, maybe one other one. Or
Dirty
10,
Deeds, yeah.
Or 10.
Yeah, so you have more than one.
Yeah, a bunch of kids.
Yeah, but so like on that same note though, like you brought up Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth.
Yep.
So again, like you, I can kind of see how you would prefer one or the other. Like so. Sammy
Hagar, what was
Hagar,
their best album?
Well, for
Van Halen?
Van Halen?
Yes. Don't matter. Don't even think about lead singer. Just best album, Van Halen.
1984.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't argue.
You can't argue.
Like literally the rock band that reinvented the electric guitar. Like,
there were some earlier ones that I liked.
1 and 2 are good.
I mean, I really liked early Van Halen.
Fair Warning's pretty decent.
I liked
Dude, I've watched the entire
Well, that's
tape.
when we grew up, wasn't it, Halsey?
I have watched the entire tape of the show they did, and it was with Sammy Hagar, but the show they did at the Veterans Memorial Stadium up in New Jersey.
Zombies.
New Haven or something like New Haven, New Jersey, or whatever they played, or New Haven, Vermont. I don't remember. I just said I've watched this hundreds of times and I don't remember where it was. But I've watched that Van Halen concert so many times, and it was so awesome.
You Van Halen 80s nerds.
Okay.
We have a grandpa with us.
Okay.
An auntie. It's another one because I was given Mike shit earlier. Sorry, Mike. Anyway, I was giving Mike shit earlier. He's been playing my entire life.
Who's that?
Mike Hall that was here earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you have too.
Yeah.
It's like I was born in '67, and how old? What? How old were you in '67, and how old did you start playing?
I started playing about 64.
So
not when I was 64 years old, but when
in
1964.
I started at 47. He started at
13.
13.
Yeah.
Well, Halsey still plays like he's 25, so.
Well, thank you.
Baby.
I'm probably better now than I ever was, but I got thrown into it.
That show that you did, Cat and the Dogs, at the off the water thing.
KatNip.
Yes,
KatNip.
KatNip. The other cat. Sorry, cat. The other cat and Nip. that was,
he's the Nip. The rest of the boys are the Nip.
Yeah, who the hell knows what the Nip? But anyway, that was a hell of a show. That was fun. It was like
I loved it. That was a great show.
Thank you.
It was.
That was a good show.
I feel privileged to play with very great musicians, and in KatNip there's 3 young people and there's 3 older usses.
Mm-hmm.
Older usses.
So it's a lot of fun.
I liked the song selection. It was different than a lot of people were playing. I think the only other band that I know that plays Whipping Post is us.
Really?
Yeah.
Free Whiskey.
Free Whiskey, yeah.
Then you're going to start playing Rick James.
Hey, you know what? We have rehearsal on Thursday. I'm going to get right on that one. We'll play Rick James.
Oh, now I see some competition.
Yeah, I'm like,
Now we started something.
Blakely
you
Band.
guys don't see this, but I see Mark over there just stirring the pot. Look at these guys turned on each other.
No.
Oh, not turn. Let's just jazz it up.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But we were
Do something
talking earlier. I was talking with Blake about how different it is now for musicians than it was when I was younger, because we started out playing teen clubs, and all over the state there were teen clubs for high school age kids to go and dance, and even junior high kids to go and dance, to have a good time with live music and everything. You just don't see that for the teenagers anymore.
You used to have skating rinks too. But.
Yeah, well, that was kind of after they had skating rinks, but people socialize, And Dairy Down's a good example, because that was the coaches served near beer and rum and cola, but just rum flavored Cokes, and it taught kids how to take their dates out, and see live music and sit in the bar atmosphere and not fight, over whose date was there, and and the coaches were right there serving the drinks that weren't liquor.
Yeah.
But it was just a different time, and I think we could use some of that
Taught
training
kids how to drink
today.
responsibly.
Yeah, it's the social training, right? It's like,
social training.
Yeah, no,
Because you see a lot of idiots out there these days.
I wish they still had that. I feel like people nowadays sort of kind of need some social training. Some of them do.
Some of them do,
especially the teenagers.
Right.
I live in a house with one, and I can tell you that some social training is in order.
I can absolutely agree with that, but I feel like I kind of straddle a little bit of that generational gap, because I remember when teen clubs were dying out, and there was only a few left, and there was a certain kind of kid that would go to the teen clubs, but roller rinks started to become this vintage, cool, thing to go do, if it was a date night, or if you're feeling retro or whatever, whatever the phrases were, those were kind of the
it's like
things.
drive-in theaters that old people do.
I've never been to a drive-in theater before.
What?
I know.
There's still one over in Lakeland.
I know. I've been looking at it.
We used to sneak people in the trunk.
Didn't care if they smothered, Just get them on in. There's stories about not being able to open the trunk. Broke the ear,
Not my car.
Have to rip the back seat out.
That's funny.
But
It wasn't for the people; it was for the beer that was in the back too.
But to that same, I remember seeing kind of the very end tail death of the teenage hangout spot, and my teenage years were pretty much let's go to the mall.
Same, mine too.
Let's go to the mall.
That was our date.
You have these mall trolls. I was proud to go to the mall just the other day and see that it's still a thing.
They never got to experience the Dragon Main Street and the old muscle cars.
There you go.
Keggers on Main Street. It was a small town.
I love that there's such a generational shift from this side of the table to that one.
I was not playing that way. I was I like how all the gray hairs over there.
Places where we could do it. Not downtown.
This is blonde.
Is it blonde?
Yes.
Okay.
This
This is blonde too.
Yeah. He had to diet that collar.
I did, because they kept carding me every time I bought a beer.
I know, it gets old, don't it?
Yeah.
After
So I went ahead and
75.
dyed my mustache and my hair and everything.
At least you still have some.
That's
The
platinum.
only reason I'm wearing a hat is just so it doesn't reflect all the light back on the camera.
We need more filters.
We need more filters. Yeah.
Well, then another thing that was different as I got older
Yeah.
was, and we were talking about that earlier, was the way bands, we used to travel a circuit around southeastern United States and go from club to club and play a week at a time at a club on the A circuit. Big clubs that carry lots of lights and big production, but people would come to actually see the band play and have a good time and dance and everything. But now bands, they don't get to, we go a week here, a week there, a week there, a week there, work all around the southeast. Now everybody's playing one night here, one night there. Nothing. The bands don't get to work like that and have a steady job.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I would love to work like that. Work 6 days
They're
in one place.
That's why you see so many solo artists and duos and stuff, because the bands just don't, you can't, it's hard to make a living.
It is hard to make a living.
It's because, $1 split however many ways you have band members, so it's you're not getting your full dollar,
Exactly.
you're getting a portion of it. But
we
we just
venue's going, it's like, why would we pay a 7-piece band, $3,000 when I can get 2 guys in here for $300?
Right.
Yeah.
But you get what you pay for.
Well, yeah.
And you did.
Yeah, you did.
You get what you pay for.
We did a podcast with Dan and Corey Pepin and talked a little bit about this, and he really emphasized the importance of
He's worth it.
the music. I can't think of the word right now. With Dan and Corey Pepin were talking about this, the importance of the
Union?
the music, the union, the musicians' union. Or whatever.
He's in it. He's in it. Yeah.
I was in the union once. One time I needed them to go to bat for me. They didn't.
Really?
They said, well, we'll put them on the blackball list. It's like, well, what about our money? Well, we'll put them on the blacklist. It's a club in Miami that didn't pay us,
Terrible.
and we were union. And okay,
When was that, though?
Back in the 70s? No, take that back. That was in the 60s.
See, and Florida's been a non-union state forever. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Well, back then,
it's one of the reasons I moved down here.
if you wanted to open shows for anybody, if you wanted to be an opening act for, when Canned Heat came through, or when, Johnny Winter came through, or whoever, you had to be a union band. You had to be in the union to play, because they were union, and a non-union
Sure.
band could not play, could not open for them. So we were.
Well, I know you can't play, or I know it, not that you can't, because I don't know the specifics, but I know that it is harder to play at places like Disney and Universal and the places like that if you're not union, because
I believe that.
because of the way they work. But it's interesting to me because I've never really even thought about being in the union, because one, I think the only thing that could benefit is insurance. I think you get some kind of insurance on your equipment, but other than that, I don't.
Well, like I said, we paid dues. And then when we needed them to get our money, they didn't.
It's interesting.
Well, it was kind of about the opposite of the stories that Dan told earlier. But we're talking at two different, couple generation gap here.
Sure.
Yeah.
60s versus the 2000s.
We buried Jimmy Hoffa now.
Yeah, but there's two sides. Like
who's that? Hell, kids nowadays don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I know.
No, but like there's two sides to the same coin, because like part of the reason that Dan was talking about the importance of the union was venues that would cop out and try to either scam money out of the musicians or just not pay them, and the union would go to bat. But at the same time, he also told a story about a venue where they said, you guys did awesome, here's an extra chunk of cash, a couple $100 extra because we liked how you guys performed. That was awesome. So there's kind of two sides to everyone's experience. No, like the unions are never going to be perfect. They're never going to do their job perfect all the time, every time.
Right.
There's way more knowledge and litigation and legal stuff that's involved in that. That's way over my head.
And then a little bit of money that we were owed is probably not worth their while to go to bat for.
Probably not.
If it had been
or there could have been some issue with the contract.
Rolling Stones or something, $100,000 or something. Bat for that.
Oh yeah, well, that's another thing that was talked about too. Is once you become established and have that set career and you become a legacy, then that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
And we talked about the big struggle was getting from that musician that's trying to create the career and becoming the legacy, and how that gap is getting wider and wider and harder.
It is very much harder.
Yeah.
It is very much
getting
harder.
paid for is getting a lot harder because of
You're not kidding.
streaming and all that.
Getting paid just to play is getting harder. Like getting paid a fair wage to play is harder, and I guess maybe that might be a benefit to the union. Is you can say, well, union wage is this much, pay it or I can't play.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just having other people dictate what I can and can't do doesn't really sit well with me.
Right.
Bit of a rebel, and like it. I like it.
He's an Allman Brothers fan. He's Southern to the core.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Polk County has more rock clubs than Orlando, I think.
Well, that's what I loved about being in Polk County. Like, I've barely been here. I'll be here a year in June. Yeah. I haven't been here. I came from Hawaii, where there's the only music scene out there was what they wanted to play for the tourists.
Well, at least there are places to play.
Yeah.
But
even then, it's. Do you know Aloha Oi, or do you know Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Oh, okay. Well, we don't want you to play. Like, Hawaii was rough. I saw a lot of really good musicians standing there just going like Somewhere Over, and I'm like, dude. This dude can shred a guitar, and he's sitting in a bar lounge in Waikiki Beach playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
It's like watching Dan, watching Dan with a ukulele.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you've come out to Hawaii. You came out to Hawaii twice. You saw it. It's really bizarre, and you'll walk
Hawaii sucks. Overpriced.
You'll drive like 10 miles to the other side of Waikiki, and you'll go to a different bar, and there'll be another band there playing the exact same song.
You go in a circle.
That's the difference.
I was there one fucking week, and I saw places that locals hadn't seen. You guys don't get out much.
Where are they gonna go, bro?
It's like I like road tripping. It's like
that's where he got the name Roadkill.
His dad. It's like we went on this military base kind of thing back in the day, but it was kind of a Hawaii preservation, building huts kind of thing now. And we just drove in, and we went and talked to the people and had a good time and got to take some pictures and stuff, go back and tell his dad, it's like, oh, you could get shot going in there.
What?
You can.
Yeah.
So hold on.
You didn't try hard enough because I got in, had friends, and left.
So it's all about the approach. Like, people tell you like there are parts of Hawaii that you can't go into because it truly does exist this way. There's a percentage of that is luck of the draw. You go in on a day when the locals don't have any beef, they're just just chilling, hanging out. They're probably going to be friendlier. You go on a day when they're pissed off about something, you're not going to have such a good time. And it's also the attitude of the person going in there. And I'm not saying that my dad or you or anybody else has the right or the wrong attitude. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. But you do get some tourists who just kind of walk in and they treat every part of the Hawaiian island as if it's a tourist playground for them to use, and it's not somebody's home. It's not
that's different because Tony and I, we like to go into places, but we go in as open arms as we bring in people into our house and stuff like this.
And the average person is exactly like that. But you hear, the average person also hears their news from the incident on the news or the local talk of some guy got his ass kicked in this part of town, and there's no real reason because he wasn't local. And it's like that's not exactly true. Like, yes, it was because he was local, but it's because he wasn't local. But it's because he wasn't local and he was being a prick.
Bingo.
Yeah.
But it's like I've been all over
that'll
not
happen
all over the world.
You have. You've been to Germany. You've been to Europe. You've been to Hawaii. You've been all over the world.
I've been all over. And the only time I ever got my ass kicked was when I ran my mouth from being stupid. It's
so how many times was that?
Once.
You only learned once.
One time, that's all you
One time,
that's called social learning.
But no, I go fast forward. I'll go any place and I'll talk to people. It's like I don't have a fear, and I don't expect anybody to start anything.
Mark, man, you're one of the nicest people I've ever met, so I don't understand how.
But you're pretty large, too.
It helps.
Look like you can take care of that.
That helps sometimes. It's like I've had to puffer fish a couple times.
Sometimes all it takes is a look.
See, my problem is I'm still young. Like, not that you're not young. You look great for your age. But I've still got that young puffiness that I'm still trying to shed. So I walk into a room and I try to have that same level of friendliness. And sometimes if you walk into the right parts of town, I'll get these looks like, yeah, I could take him. And I'm like, I'm not trying to take on anybody. Like, I just want a beer. Hi, how's it going? And if I'm friendly, they look at me like, what are you after?
Look, just go up and give them a hug.
I'll let you know how that ends.
They'll probably kick your ass.
Exactly, that's my point.
That Hawaii boy, he's
What's
looking
your
at me
lesson
wrong.
there, son? Don't take advice from me.
What do you mean, aloha? You're from that rainbow place.
Aloha.
You ever heard the joke where like laughing really loudly in Hawaii is considered a public nuisance? So they you have to minimize your laugh to aloha.
That sounds such Japanese law. You know, a lot of Japanese in Hawaii.
Yeah. Well,
There's a very heavy Asian
Or
influence.
Asian, I should
Asian,
say.
yeah.
Not
So-
just Japanese, but just
They
heavy,
Asian.
heavy
I think they were there
Asian.
first, weren't they?
Were they?
No.
No.
Well, I was going to say, when I went to that museum and
Well, I think they were like Polynesians.
They were Polynesians. They were wayfinders and ocean explorers that
Yeah.
found the island.
Yeah.
Literally needle in a haystack.
I guess that's different from Asians.
needle and
so.
tattooists is
Samoan.
what they were.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't have a tattoo, you couldn't be there.
Is that right?
Yeah. They still practice their tattoo. I never got one, but they
I
still
would
practice
love
their
to get the
tattoo method.
the tatoa or whatever.
Oh, you need to go do it.
I would do
Dude,
it. I'd do this.
so the person who's most revered for it, I don't remember their name.
I don't either. But he's still over there doing it.
He's still over there doing it. His wait list is like 6 years long, and you have to, if you want to get bumped up the wait list, you have to show like some tribal relation or something. Like he'll give precedence to people that have certain relations to
Now
Samoans.
he's got apprentices, whatever they call them over there. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's a fancy word that I don't know.
Apprentice sounds good.
Probably
Apprentice is a good
Polynesian,
word.
But apprentice is about what it is. But you can get one of them a lot quicker, and they'll
Yeah.
do that tingle thing. Just
I would do it.
Dude,
I
so
would totally
tradition
tingle your ass
tradition
up.
states that once you
Use
get
the
your
gun.
they basically claw your skin open in a pattern, then pour the ink in, and then the traditional way to do. I think this is the Samoan tradition. Is once that ink is fresh poured into that wound, you're supposed to walk right into the salt water. So it's all over your whole body, and you just walk in. That's it's crazy. There's a place in
They use
Hawaii.
light bulb filaments to do it.
Yeah. So the
I heard the Indians used to use eagle claws and stick them in their chest and hang themselves and to prove they were men.
Really?
It's like there's all kinds of crazy
saw a
shit
movie
out
like
there.
there is.
You know, I ain't doing that.
I saw that movie.
The saltwater thing just seems very, very painful.
The 22-year-old me that had a chip on his shoulder probably would have done it, but I ain't doing it now. I'm at 35. I'm like, man,
So,
I got
like, I'm not
kids.
So
gonna-
I'm going to get us back on track a little bit because I want to talk about Blake and the Allman Brothers and what's that? Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia. Yeah.
And
I know Macon
S&S, where you get the best
the
damn
H and H
breakfast.
and H.
H&H.
There's
yeah.
H and H and S&S. There's H and H. Now I've never eaten at S&S, but probably will when I go up there in September. But I hear it's good.
H&H though, that the
H&H
breakfast
is the bomb,
is
dude.
bomb. Allman Brothers used to hang out there.
Yes,
Me and
sir.
Connie went there on a road trip.
Yeah.
Well, quite a few years back now, but we've been a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about Macon. Tell us about your Allman Brothers trip. And you played on the stage.
I did. I got to play at the big house. I met, it's for the GABA Festival last year, which is the Georgia Allman Brothers Band Association. And I actually became a member. It's not hard to become a member. All you can do is pay. But
kind of like a union.
yeah, it's like
Just gotta pay your dues.
and we're circling around.
See how you got
You don't have
suckered
to,
into
you don't
that
have to
shit.
pay your dues. I think they let you
Just
play.
pay that money. You can be anything you want to be.
You can. It's the capitalist society. But the
Welcome to the union.
the association. If you're a member, they do this members only jam at the big house on the lawn, and they let you get up there, do a couple songs with other members, and it was an experience, man. Because I you've already been through the house, you've seen everything, and you go out there and you're playing an Allman Brothers song, and there's other people there. Like I met people there that knew those guys, not only as musicians but as people. Like they were my neighbor, or they were my
I knew some of them.
yeah. They were they
Barry
were
Oakley.
yeah.
That's cool.
And you go
He
and
played on one of our 45s.
did he?
Yeah.
Nice.
45. You're showing your age.
Single.
Yeah, I know. Well, we did on Broadway, and he sang a part of it and played bass on it because we were 3-piece, had a piano bass, and we wanted the bass on it.
That is so cool.
Our guitar player was good friends of his.
See, that's what I mean. It's just, there's just a connection for me. There's some sort of connection. I can't really figure out what it is to that band. So, I don't know. I enjoy Macon. I enjoy Georgia in general, but Macon specifically is a really interesting town.
It's a cool place. I used to live just north of Atlanta in East Cobb, Marietta. It's a
Marietta.
Yeah, Georgia's a cool place.
I love Georgia. Marietta is good. It's a good little town.
Marietta, Georgia.
Why?
I got
A lot of pine trees.
You got a ticket? Hey, don't speed.
They gave me a ticket for nothing. I mean, I'm just minding my own business, driving down the interstate, 85 mile an hour, and they gave me a damn ticket.
85 mile an hour.
And what was the speed limit?
I was in a fucking escort. Does it matter what the speed limit is? I mean, I can't really speed in an escort.
So a friend of mine has
You
a
weren't
story.
even born yet. We got a new guest in here. His daughter Jane,
A
Melissa.
friend of mine from Georgia, from Dunwoody area, has a story about. I don't want to drop any names here, but he had a friend who found one of those get-rich-quick schemes and made himself a bucket load of money. Whatever he did, and he got himself a Porsche, dropped everything out of it down to the frame and the outer shell, and put bucket racing seats in it. He goes, let's go for a ride. And the 400 interstate shooting straight north?
No, yeah.
It's like 40 miles of just straight 8 lanes. There's no turning, there's no curves, nothing. And he got on that thing and he gunned his car up to about 115 miles per hour, and specifically found the police stops and had a whole group of cops chasing him, dropped it into a low gear and hit a nitro button and shot up far enough so they weren't in the rear view, got off, crossed the bridge and went back down the other way as the cops were still coming up.
Wow.
And my friend who told me this, my friend who told me this story goes, yeah, I never got in his car again after that.
Kick the nitro in.
Yeah.
Keyword, kids, don't speed in Georgia.
Don't speed anywhere. Don't be. Look, I live on I-4. Don't be a jackass. All right.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
Well,
Let's back up right quick. On I-4, there's a way to drive. If you're in the fucking fast lane, 10 over the speed limit.
Yeah.
If not, get the fuck out of it. Okay, if you can't do 10 over in the fast lane, get the fuck out. I'm talking to the Yankees here.
Oh, wow.
Get the fuck out.
He said the Y word.
I said it. Get the fuck out. In the middle lane, that's for the speed limit drivers. You guys that want to do under, get in the slow lane. The truckers want to be in the middle lane, go in the speed limit because they can't go in the fast lane. Stay in the slow lane. Yankees. Get the fuck out of the fast lane.
I'm with you on all that. I'm talking about the people that cut me off so damn close you couldn't fit a piece of paper between my bumper and theirs. Just shaving that shit in as hard as they can. I'm like,
that's like them people. Man, we were coming out of Nashville. Me and Connie were after the drum show last year. And we're going down the interstate, and it's a thing up there. We're going down there, and it's these old, Dodge drivers, you fucking suck too. We're coming.
Tell us how you really feel, Mike.
I am.
I know you are.
We're coming down the interstate, and I'm in a fast lane doing 10 over, like I'm supposed to. And I'm cruising along, and we're in the Buick, Grandma Mobile. We're fucking going down. We're cruising over. We're doing what we're supposed to do. All of a sudden, I look in my rearview mirror and I see all these people flashing their lights. They're all Dodge drivers. And here they come. 100 miles an hour past me, cutting right in front. I mean, just driving like damn idiots. And it's a big thing up there. It's a big car club that just goes down the interstate, drives like idiots, causes fucking crashes, and they're just idiots.
Yeah.
So don't be an idiot. I'm talking about you, Nashville.
So music, circling back to the Macon thing. There were more bands in Macon than just the Allman Brothers Band. There was Marshall Tucker Band. There was
Otis Redding.
Otis Redding. Wet Willie, the Jason Aldean. I mean, all kinds of different people are from that area.
That's a different song.
That's the wrong song, bud.
Marshall Tucker, they were an incredible band.
Marshall Tucker was great.
So was Wet Willie.
Yes. I heard, and I don't know for sure, but I heard that Jimmy Hall was at, which is a singer for Wet Willie, was at GABA last year, but I never seen him.
What's GABA?
The George Allman Brothers Band Association, the festival that I was at.
What we've been talking about, Mark.
Well, I didn't hear it referred to as
GABBA.
GABA.
GABA. It's like ABBA with a G.
With a G, yeah.
Georgia Allman Brothers Band Association. We've been talking about this for the past half hour.
Let's talk about ABBA now. Since
We're talking about ABBA. Okay, let's talk about
When I was in Sweden, I went to the Hard Rock Cafe and they had the ABBA room downstairs in Stockholm. And it was just lined with platinum, gold records. I mean, it was incredible.
It was all ABBA.
It was all ABBA. Oh, the ABBA room, they called it.
Did you walk in and start hearing Dancing Queen? On a Dancing Queen.
Was that ABBA?
Or Fernando.
That's probably the only ABBA song I ever heard. But okay.
All right.
That's enough about ABBA.
So tell us about the time you played with Buddy Rich.
Oh, yes. Please
I never
do.
played with Buddy Rich.
Oh, well, I thought you were slinging on a guy old. I thought maybe you did.
He played with Elvis Presley, too. Did you hear about that?
Mark has his wires crossed.
No, I'm gonna bitch because, you know.
I like Elvis Presley, but I was and I was brought up on Elvis Presley, but I was never played with him.
Dude, I have a deep respect for
Elvis
like
Presley,
young Elvis.
Tribute. I did Monk Pelly.
Okay.
Backed him up one time on the drums.
I have a deep respect for young Elvis. I love looking up like old videos and stuff and seeing the seeing how he put it as working before he really became the arena performer that he became in his later years when he was
before he went and did movies.
Yeah, before he started doing well, even when he first started doing the movies.
All along, pretty much.
Well, but he you can just in the way he carried himself, it was all a character, and you can see it, and he put so much work into it, and it's just super cool to watch, and I love watching those old videos and just going, man.
Did you see the Elvis movie?
I haven't seen the movie yet.
I didn't like it.
A lot of people love it. That's the reason I haven't watched it yet. I've heard mixed reviews.
They trashed Colonel Parker, that's for sure.
Oh yes, they did.
Who played Elvis?
Austin Butler.
Who's that?
I don't know either.
A young actor.
I don't watch TV also.
It was more about
all new to
Colonel
me.
Parker than it was.
Yeah, it really was more about Colonel Parker and his perception of how Elvis was.
Well, I mean, Elvis was such a complex person.
The guy that was Elvis's manager.
Yeah, he was like a carny. That somehow taught Elvis's dad into letting him handle Elvis.
Wait, is this the one where? Correct me if I'm wrong, and I think I am wrong. Is this the one that Tom Hanks played?
Yeah, that's
okay.
it.
I've seen the previews for you. It's definitely the film was definitely more about him.
He was the one that was feeding him drugs. You had a doctor there to feed him drugs, get him up on stage, and
take 70% of his pay.
Yeah.
Well,
but
that eliminates the theory that he's still alive.
I mean, not necessarily.
No.
Who thinks Elvis is still alive? Raise your hand. Everybody.
I'm a half season guy. Look, I love the conspiracy theory.
We're talking about him. He's still alive.
I love the conspiracy theory that he is living in a converted film studio that was where they filmed the moon landing.
Yeah, so Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa's right there with him. Both of them. They're just hanging
and Tupac,
out.
too.
And Jim Morrison.
Yeah, Jim Morrison and Tupac. They're all hanging out.
It's in France. Is where they did it.
Have you seen The Preacher? I think he's in Kentucky. I'm probably wrong about that. Have you seen The Preacher that everybody swears it's Elvis Presley? He
Yes.
sounds like
Yes,
him.
I
He
have.
looks
I've
like
seen
him.
the
He's got
pictures
the
of
same
him.
hair,
I've
same
seen
smile.
that.
Dude is an
He's
absolute
like an old man
doppelganger.
version of Elvis. Like he's got
Dude.
like a really thick.
Hold on, I'll see if I can find a picture of
Yeah.
him real quick.
Really thick.
He's a straight up doppelganger for Elvis Presley, and
I
it
think
is
he looks more
absolutely
like Kenny
nuts.
Rogers than.
He's a descendant.
Yeah, that's not a bad one either.
Elvis fucked a lot of little girls back in.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
surely one of them got pregnant.
Okay
You know, they didn't try to sue him for the money.
So
or forgot.
the left,
It's like,
the photo on the left
or
is
got
young.
so stoned they didn't even know who they was.
So guys,
you know.
the photo on the left is young Elvis Presley, and the guy on the right is some preacher, and everybody keeps swearing that he's.
It looks more like Kenny Rogers.
That's
yeah,
what-
that's what I'm
I-
saying.
yeah,
That's Kenny Rogers. I ain't no Elvis. He's
But
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, he does look like Kenny Rogers, but he sings Elvis songs in his church, and he sounds.
Well, Kenny
exactly
Rogers probably
like him.
could too if he
Yeah.
tried.
That's
Right.
true.
Halsey can. Give it to me, baby.
I got too much,
Dude, I
too much
walked.
oak
too
bloom
much
in me right
bloom.
now. My house is just
I'll be
covered with
right
oak
back.
bloom.
Need another beer.
I walked outside earlier when they were talking music or something. I just turned, I looked right at my father-in-law, and he just kind of went, "Hit me, baby," and then walked inside. And I went, "What did I?" Out of context, that was really awkward, and that's his father-in-law.
He's trying to be Rick James, bitch.
Rick James.
Rick James.
Bo's fine. He's fine. He's fine. Bo's the mascot. He's fine. We need to find a way to get his art on one of these T-shirts. Which, speaking of which, you can get our T-shirts now online at the link posted below.
Hey,
you can also go
Jay.
to roadkilldrums.com and
Go to that chair. It's got a massager in it. We're going to edit this part. Yeah, you're in his seat.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, and
You're in
he's
his
going to want
seat.
to go to bed.
yeah.
But
Speaking
that one over there's got a massager.
Speaking of which, guys, it is getting to be about that point. So, real quick, I want to have you guys just tell us a little bit about where we can find some of your music or anything else you want to plug in here. We'll drop a link down in the description and
Gotta do
go from
this.
there.
Halsey, you go first.
Link below.
Ozzy, tell us a little bit about where we can find your music or anything else you want to plug in.
Go to KatNip.com or go to Facebook, KatNip, spelled with a K and a capital N. KATNIP. I'm lucky enough to be playing with Cat Agner and Randy Underhill and Tyler and
The whole band's good.
It's
a good band.
Who's that?
Bunch of good musicians.
Who's the horn guy?
Christian Bryan.
He's good too.
Yeah, he's very good. And Mark
Oh,
Lester on bass, best around.
It's a great band, man. You got to go out and check them out.
I feel very privileged to play with them, and we don't play a lot, but when we do, come see us.
when you do, I do.
And we're not like Blake. Blake plays constantly.
Yeah, I'm thinking people are going to get tired of me here pretty soon. I'm thinking, but you can check me out at the Blake Free Band on Facebook and just Blake Free. I'm on Instagram at what is my Instagram name? Blake T Free on Instagram. So you can find me there. I don't know, just listen to good music. It don't have to be mine. Just listen to good
We'll
music.
drop links below.
We'll drop links below, make it real easy for people to
Yeah.
find you. Check out these guys' music. Make sure you go to roadkilldrums.com and pick you up a T-shirt like a couple of these fine gentlemen are wearing here today.
Yep.
Got more things coming out on there
these,
too.
these are retired. You have to.
Yeah, you
get
can't
a
get
new
these
road kit.
anymore.
Yeah, these are.
Get the
OG.
2024. Get the
These are
2024
OG
Abbey
shit
Road
right here.
version that is out now on the Roadkill Drums website. Order you a T-shirt. We got koozies, we got aprons, we got all kinds of really cool stuff on there as well, and leggings and shirts and stuff for the ladies too, and more gear and equipment to come. Thanks for tuning in to the Roadkill podcast, guys. Thank you very much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by Roadkill Custom Drums and Commercial Refrigeration. Thank you guys for dinner. That was super awesome. These guys will keep your house cool and all that super cool stuff.
Your wife's hot. They'll cool her off.
The hose are down, baby.
Hey, it worked for me.
You're gonna lay
So
some
I'm
hose.
just saying.
Hey, Dad, you know your wife works there, right?
My wife was hot.
That's why he knows.
It's like I get the "Hey Dad" thing in the middle of the show. Hey Dad. Yes, hon.
Hey, old person.
Anyway, yes.
That's blonde.
Commercial refrigeration with a K.
Seth's gonna love this.
Very
Thank you,
good,
Bo.
people.
Bo's telling us it's time to sign off. So thank you guys so much. Y'all have a
Thank you,
wonderful
man.
night. We'll see you
It's
next
bedtime.
time.